In a small town tucked between the shadows of New York City's towering skyline, lived a 14-year-old boy named Eli Parker. He wasn't famous. He wasn't rich. He didn't have fancy clothes or the latest sneakers. In fact, most people barely noticed him. His father, Ray Parker, was a waiter at a roadside diner, the kind of place where the coffee's always hot and the tips are barely enough to make rent. But Eli had something most people didn't see. A dream. A fire inside. Eli was fascinated by computers. While his classmates played video games, Eli wanted to build them. But his family couldn't afford a laptop, let alone coding lessons. After school, Eli would head to the library, his second home, and spend hours reading about HTML, Python, and JavaScript, words that made no sense to his friends but lit up Eli's world like fireworks. At night, he'd return home to a one-bedroom apartment, where he shared a fold-out couch with his dad. Ray would walk in at midnight, smelling of grease and tired bones, yet always smiling. "You learning something new today, champ?" he'd ask. Eli would nod. "One day I'll build something big, Dad. I'll change our lives." Then came the moment. A citywide coding competition was announced, open to high school students from across New York. The prize? A $10,000 scholarship, a new laptop, and an internship at a tech firm. Eli's heart raced. This was it, the door he had been waiting for. He rushed home, told his dad, and saw something rare in his father's eyes: tears. "You go for it," Ray said, choking up. "I'll pick up extra shifts. We'll find a way." For weeks, Eli worked after school, through weekends, even skipping meals to save time. He was building an app to help low-income students find free tutoring in their neighborhoods, inspired by his own struggles. But every hero's journey faces trials. 2 days before the competition, Eli's only access to a computer, the library, shut down due to a burst pipe. Panic set in. He had no computer, no internet, no backup plan. Most kids would have quit, but not Eli. He ran across town in freezing rain, asking if anyone could lend him a laptop. He knocked on 5 doors. 10, 20. Most people said no. Then a retired math teacher named Mrs. Jennings opened her door. "You're Ray Parker's boy, aren't you?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am. I'm building an app. I just need 2 days. Please." She smiled. "Come in." The night before the submission deadline, just as Eli was about to upload his final code, the power went out in the neighborhood. No Wi-Fi. No electricity. He sat in the dark, defeated. That night Eli cried. Not because he failed, but because he'd come so far, and life once again had pulled the rug out from under him. But then he remembered his dad's words. "The world only notices you after you've refused to give up." So he did the only thing he could. He wrote down his entire code on paper by candlelight, every line, every function, and walked 5 miles at dawn to the downtown competition venue. With 15 minutes left before the deadline, Eli burst through the doors, drenched in sweat and determination. "I don't have a flash drive," he gasped. "But I have my code." The judges stared. One took the handwritten pages. Another asked, "You built this by yourself?" Eli nodded. "I learned it from books, from the library. And I didn't give up even when everything went wrong." There was silence in the room. Then applause. 3 days later, Eli got the call. He had won. Today, Eli Parker is 22. He graduated with honors in computer science. His app, BridgeEd, now connects over 100,000 students to free educational resources. He's been featured in Forbes, spoke at TEDx, and even built a custom POS system for the same diner his father still works at. Though now, Ray only waits tables for fun. Because Eli pays the bills. Eli wasn't lucky. He wasn't born into wealth or privilege. He didn't have the best tools. But he had something stronger. Grit, vision, and a promise to himself. Never give up. So if you're watching this right now, wondering if your dream is too big or if life is too hard, remember Eli. Remember that the people who make it aren't always the smartest. They're just the ones who refuse to quit. This is your moment. Don't give up. Like, subscribe, comment below. I will never give up. If Eli's story inspired you. More motivational stories every week. Stay inspired.